Welcome back to The Explainer. A lot of us chase the same things in life, right? Fame, knowledge, a little bit of wealth. But here's a thought. What if the secret to actually handling all that stuff isn't about mastering the things themselves, but about mastering something totally different? Today, we're going to break down some seriously timeless wisdom on how to manage these powerful forces in our lives. We usually think of fame, knowledge, and money as completely separate goals, each with its own rulebook. But what if they're not? What if they're all connected by one single underlying skill? One art that you absolutely have to nail to handle any of them? Well, according to the source we're diving into today, there absolutely is. All right, let's jump right in with the first big one, fame. It's something a lot of people want, but this perspective says it's not so simple. It's not just a destination, it's more like a path that splits, a real fork in the road that leads to two very, very different places. And here are those two paths, laid out super clearly. On one side, you've got fame paired with responsibility. And that's not just good, it's seen as a powerful force. But the other path, well, the source doesn't pull any punches. Fame without that sense of responsibility, it's not just a bad look, it's called, in no uncertain terms, stupidity and ignorance. Oof. So let's move on and see how this same idea builds with our second pillar, knowledge. And you're going to see a really similar pattern here. Turns out it's not so much about what you know, but all about how you hold that knowledge. That's what makes all the difference. Now, there's a really fine line here, but it's an important one. Being proud of what you've learned, that's great. It's healthy. But, and this is a big but, the source warns you can't let that pride just curdle into arrogance. The real sweet spot, the best path, is this amazing blend of being both humble and proud. It seems like that humility is the key ingredient that keeps things from going sour. Okay, so that word arrogance gets tossed around all the time. But what are we really talking about here? What does it actually mean in this context? Thankfully, we're not left guessing. The source gives us a definition that's, well, it's pretty intense. Whoa, now this completely flips the script on what we usually think arrogance is. It's not about knowing too much. It's about a deep, profound lack of knowing. Just think about those ingredients: ignorance, actively rejecting truth, and a dislike for other people. That doesn't sound like a super genius, does it? It sounds like a weakness pretending to be a strength, a totally closed-off mind. So that brings us to our third pillar, money. And you know what? The approach here is beautifully, refreshingly simple. It's not some complicated spreadsheet of rules. It all boils down to a single, powerful principle that is the foundation for everything. This is so much more than just budgeting advice. This is about stewardship. It's saying that the discipline, the character, the muscle you build by managing a little bit of money is the exact same muscle you'll need to manage a lot. It's kind of a test, right? Can you be a good steward of what you have right now? If you can, you've already proven you're ready for more. Okay, so we've looked at the art of fame, the art of knowledge, and the art of money. We've seen how responsibility, humility, and discipline are crucial for each one. So what's the thread? What is the one art that ties this whole thing together? Well, it's the art of the self. And there it is, the big, unifying idea. Chasing fame, or knowledge, or money, that's all an external game. But the argument here is that you can't possibly win that game if you haven't mastered your internal world first. It all comes back to managing yourself. That responsibility, that humility, that discipline, they aren't just nice to haves. They're the very foundation that any real lasting success has to be built on. So as we wrap this up, I'll just leave you with this to think about. If handling all that stuff out there, the fame, the knowledge, the money, truly depends on our internal state, then maybe the most important journey we can take isn't outward, but inward. Because it seems the art of mastering anything always begins with mastering yourself.